Is all the testing done?
It's done. Yes. After today. Okay. The bells will not come on until after the seniors leave because of the AP testing, which will start happening next week. So 2 more weeks of no bells. No, not at all.
I have 5 matches. Alex's confidence in
Okay. So, sorry. 7.2 part 1, we're talking about solving by elimination. This should be, like I said, pretty short with a decent amount of homework time. So we're going to start with just a quick review that is algebra level stuff, because that's where we start with elimination, and then we'll very quickly jump our way up into pre-calc level. So the very basic of elimination, which is where we start in algebra class. Actually, we start a little bit easier than this even. The idea of solving by elimination. So let me say this. When we solve by substitution, once we make that substitution step, the purpose is getting only one variable. So if you substitute and you have x's and y's in your equation still, you made a mistake. If you substitute and you have only x's or only y's, then you're on the right track. Because you cannot solve an equation that has 2 variables. You can solve an equation that has 1. So when we're solving by elimination, we want to eliminate one of our variables so that we only have 1 variable. When we eliminate, we want to do that by adding. It's at its fundamental easiest, it's adding. If you want to be really difficult, you could subtract and have everything positives. That's fine. It will throw people off. I don't recommend it. But you can. I already have opposites here, so that means I don't need to do anything in advance. I literally just can add straight down, because 3x minus 3x is gone. It's 0. Don't write anything down. And then you're left with 3y is equal to 6. It should always come out to then be a 1-step equation that's super easy to solve. So you know that y is equal to what? Y equals 2. And then the rest of it's substitution. Pick one of those equations, plug in your 2, and solve for x, and then you are done. 3x plus 5 times 2 is equal to 7. Plus 10 equals 7. So x in this case is -1 and -1. And we write our answers as a coordinate point because that's what we do. Okay, now that's very, very basic. Okay, we are not going to be operating at that level, just so you know. That's just a reminder. Plus 3y is equal to 9, and 2x minus 4y is equal to 14. Okay, now this is less basic, because if I were to add them together right now, I would have 7x minus y equals 23. And I did not eliminate anything. So because this is like the warm-up, because nothing currently eliminates, I have to multiply. I can multiply 1. I can multiply both. I could divide 1. I could divide both. So you can add, you cannot add. You can multiply or divide to change your equation. So for example, I could multiply, let me make it a little more specific. If I wanted the x's to eliminate, what can I multiply the bottom by? I can multiply by decimal. I can go -2.5. Okay? I probably wouldn't personally, because as soon as you make things more complicated, you introduce the possibility of more mistakes. I probably personally would eliminate the y's, multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 3. Personally. You do whatever you want. There are choices galore. You can multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 5 as long as one of them is negative. The point is, one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative, which is why I probably would go for the y's. I already have a negative in there. So I probably would multiply by 4 and 3. Okay. When you multiply, these are things that I say 4,000 times to freshmen. I'm saying them to you once. Make sure you remember all of the numbers get multiplied by 4. Multiplied. I had a kid yesterday in algebra class who was adding them. And I was like, oh, you had the 4 right. That was right, but don't add them. Multiply. I know you're not a freshman, which I'm very thankful for. Minus 12y. 4 times 3 is 42. I think. Okay. Now when you add them together, you have the y's cancel. If 26x equals 78. And then what are you going to do? What about 26? Then you get x is equal to 3. Then you plug them back in. It does not matter which equation you plug it back into. You just have to plug it back in. Okay. So 5, 3, 3y equals 9. Just make sure that you're, again, I know I'm not talking to freshmen. Just make sure that you're writing down this is x equals so you remember to plug it back in for x. Don't put it in for y, plug it in for x. I had one of your first hour classmates that was like, oh, I plugged it in for the y. And I was like, well, don't do that. They were like, Mrs. Douglas, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what to tell you. Don't plug it in for y. So y equals -2. And you've got 3, -2 as your answer. Okay. Any questions about the review of things from algebra? So remember, this is the part that we needed to remember, that you can multiply one or both equations to make them eliminate. Okay, there you go. That's your review of algebra. Now let's move on. So let's say we have x squared plus 2y squared is equal to 12, and 2x squared plus y is equal to 4. And I'm asking you to solve this one. We are practicing elimination. If you wanted, like when we get on the test or quiz, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do. So maybe this would be one where you'd be like, maybe I'll substitute this. You'd have to smart substitute, but you could do it. Hey, Monson, you want to wake up? Oh, no, you're not. You just head bobbed. I saw it. So if we want to eliminate, whereas the linear ones have choices, there's no choices on this. There's only one thing you can do to make it eliminate. Anna, why are you on your watch? Good heavens. Okay, what are you going to do? You multiply the top by -2. Okay. People on their watches, people sleeping, ridiculous. You can only multiply, and it's not less. We can only multiply the top by -2. Why can we not do anything else? Because the bottom is only a y and not a y squared. Yes, you're going to get a quadratic again, which I had to clear those stupid calculators again, and so I reloaded them this morning, so they all should be there. If it's not, the program is not on your calculator, you let me know. So -2x squared minus 4y squared equals -24. And then we have our positive 2x squared. Did I do it wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. See what I did.
Okay, so x's cancel. And we are left with -4y squared plus y equals -20.
So this non. So I just put it wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
What do you got to do to this? Got to add the 20 over it. We got another quadratic again. So -4y squared plus y plus 20 is equal to 0.
I did mine.
There you go. That's fine. Okay, go ahead and finish that one out and get the answers to that one, please.
We can just like round the decimals, right?
Please round the decimals. Okay. I'm coming. Just tell him to shut up. That's me. go do something with that calculator. So you're actually doing something. I will call Missy.
Oh.
I'll say, Jack needs to go to bed because he's sleeping in my class. Sounds about at 7.
She would too.
Just Dougie, I was playing baseball at 7.
I don't care. Maybe you don't need to be playing
Jack
baseball.
snapped
You
me
should be
at
sleeping.
past 11:30 last night.
It's such a lie.
He's probably playing video games with you. Not like he did it smart.
First pulled the receipts.
My mom was there.
Take 4 answers to
This
support
Douglas,
them.
I may have not did my homework, but I'm not sleeping in class.
I appreciate it.
I promise it's not senioritis, we're just tired yesterday.
Supporting your ex.
What did you got?
Promise it's not senior experts, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I believe that.
Get that science.
Remember when I wasn't here for 4 of the 5 days and I still got the other quiz? That's what we're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
Mentally, we're not here, we're still gonna do that.
I can't wait till Cup next year.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be a blast.
What are your Y values?
I'm so good.
Negative 2.1. I'm gonna go 2.11, which is fine.
And
Last time we were all together, we made the teacher cry.
Yeah,
And
we
then
did.
quit.
Yeah, she quit like a couple years later.
Who?
Yikes.
I want to take credit for that.
Oh.
It was, she cried multiple times.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a one-time thing. It was a lot.
You are terrible. I'll just send you the office before I cry.
So you're supposed to have 4 answers.
Yep.
So
Okay, so I'm gonna put this into the bottom. Remember we talked about always put it into the simpler equation. So actually I'm gonna, because I'm a little bit, I don't want to say I'm lazy. I'm just gonna go this way. I'm gonna solve for y up here so I can just be like, okay, never mind, it's x. So 2x squared plus y is equal to 4. And then 2x squared plus y is equal to 4. Okay, so you got to solve those. So you got to add 2.11. And then you got to divide by 2 before you square root. So x squared is equal to, what about 2? 3.055. Okay, when you square root, how many answers does that give you? 2. This is plus or minus 1.75. Okay, I'm going to come over here and do the same steps with a different number. So 2x squared equals 4 minus 2.36. 1.64. Divide them by 2. 0.82. And then square root. I got 0.91. Plus or minus 0.91. Sorry, I ran out of my screen. There you go. So 4 answers because the x has a plus or minus in it. So 1.75 and negative 2.11. Negative 1.75, negative 2.11. And then 0.91 and 2.36 and negative 0.91 and 2.36. There you go. 4 answers.
Have ones that like don't work.
It's possible. And it's possible like when you're doing one like this where you get one side that does and one that doesn't.
No, like, you know, what were we just doing? And you had to like check them. Because like all of the points.
Yes. So what I would say is, as long as you're always putting it in the simplest of the equations, you won't generate ones that don't work. Does that answer your question? Okay. Now, let's see. I want you to try this one. This is the only other one we're doing. I can't even see my original problem under here. Okay. Let's go with 3x squared plus 4y is equal to 9. And x squared plus 2y is equal to 4. Okay, please solve that all the way. Sorry, there you go. Two ways you can go with this. This one you actually have choices. even use your calculator for that.
I know, but like, is it positive one or negative one?
Because you're square rooted.
Here's a public service announcement for you. Mr. Lino came on the intercom this morning, was like, it's supposed to be 50 something for Packer Bread Day. Please do not dress as though it's going to be 50. At 8 o'clock in the morning, it will be 31. Okay? The high tomorrow is 50 whatever, and that usually happens at 4 o'clock. Okay, so don't dress for 50 degrees, dress for 30.
How much extra community service do they give you if you skip?
I think it's an additional 8 hours
School days.
or 4. I don't know. Ace knows. You've been skipping Packer Bread Days for years, huh?
No.
I don't know. That's the answer to that question.
Usually I go to that one guy's farm, but he said he doesn't help us or something.
We have to
Someone else.
weed tomorrow.
I have to weed every year. Why are you
My hands
complaining?
are
Why
gonna
do we
freeze.
go
There's like a
to-
big rock wall and we have to climb up
Oh,
it
yeah, our
and weed
friend's house
every year
is here.
forward.
I'm so
Same.
sad.
That was so fun. Except when you smush
What-
your hand like the. Why do they let us use like
No,
You
wood
gotta see your
splitters?
breath back
yeah,
breath.
like freshman year, a bunch of like 13-year-olds can dress with wood splitters.
Yeah, we get to run the wood splitters, and then I think that's like slugs at me. Javon, dude.
I believe that.
Always Javon.
I believe that about Javon.
Push around and wheel
I almost cut my
barrels.
hand off freshman year on that wood split.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Yikes.
I always stack wood. He's talking about my splitting mold this year.
Okay, question. How many of you would eliminate the x squared? Okay, how many of you eliminated the y? Does it matter?
No.
It does not matter. Plus or minus. Oops, sorry. Let's see. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna multiply by. No, I'm gonna eliminate x's because I don't want to deal with the squares. So 3x squared plus 4y equals 9. And then that gives me negative 3x squared minus 6y equals negative 12. So this is negative 2y equals negative 3. So y equals what? 1.5. Plus or minus? Why not?
Because it's not square root.
Because it's not square rooted. Correct. So only one y, which is really nice. Yes.
Do you always want to solve it for y?
You can solve for x. I don't care. I believe I said that, right? When I said, how many of you chose to solve for x? How many of you chose to eliminate y?
I bet I was trying to finish the problem.
Okay. Now, both of these are the same level of complexity, right? So if I'm plugging these into the simpler equation, they both have a square on the x and a plain y. It does not give me, one is not advantageous over the other in that way. I'm actually going to plug it into the bottom because I don't have to use the 3. So x squared plus 2 times 1.5 is equal to 4. That's 3. So if you got x squared is equal to 1, which if you eliminated your y's, you had this, which you should have because it's the same answer. Square root, what does x equal? Plus or minus 1. So we've got 1, 1.5, and negative 1, 1.5. Okay. Questions on elimination? Okay. So here's your homework. Page 493. Oh yeah, you should have plenty of time to get this done also. 14, 16, 20, 21, 24, and
Do you have an extra day?
yep.
Still,
Sorry,
you're
I
getting-
told you to have it.
We're getting pretty deep into this book.
Yeah, we're not even halfway.
Freak out?
No, in the book. Are we more than halfway? So I'm giving you 2 extras here because these are not, this level of things is not covered in the book and it is on the quiz. Okay, so these are important ones to do. So if you're Gold Star Club, the only one I'm going to let you cross out is 14. Don't you even complain or I'll make you do it.
I do all this backbreaking work. You get a 95 minutes class.
I promise they're not super difficult.